Hello.
Hi, hello, this is Trevante. Trevante?
Yeah. Yep. How you
Hey,
doing, Tom?
Trevante, this is Tommy, man. Just to let you know, this call is gonna be recorded and potentially uploaded to YouTube. How can I help you?
That's cool. Yeah. I wanted to talk about actually starting a YouTube myself.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. Me and my friends, like we subscribe to your channel, like we fans of yours, and we follow all your work, and we really
Mm-hmm.
like the information that you put out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in particular, one video. This was a while ago, but the video of you talking about how to start a YouTube without actually showing your face.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so that's like what I'm trying to do. Like I rewatched that video. I can't tell you how many times, but a lot of the stuff in that video, because the content was created a while ago, is no longer like feasible. Like I tried to use some of um those different things. Some of it
So,
isn't.
so what you're asking me is, Tommy, how do I make a YouTube channel without showing my face and make money, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying you watched the video and you're saying that video is no longer feasible. Now let me ask you, why isn't it feasible anymore? It's the same rules. What's going on?
Same rules apply. Just some of the different like websites and links that you had like talked about in the video, like they changed it, like or they're no longer, the services are no longer used.
You gotta
And
step a little closer to the mic.
you say what?
Step a little closer to the to your phone. That way you don't move around so much, please.
Oh yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying some of those the tools that you provided, like the websites and different things that you provided, either uh the websites are down, like are no longer available,
Mm-hmm.
or some of those things like don't apply now, like they don't work. But the same rules apply. I was wondering if you had any new information that I could go off, like how to get stock free images and videos for music and different things like that, and uh, different also just different niches as well.
All right. So the core idea behind how to make money without showing your face on YouTube is
Hmm.
that you're using, for example, content that is allowed to be reused on YouTube and then re-uploading that content, but also in a way making it your own. That's the only way to make it special or whatever. Now,
Right.
the niche that I saw, for example, that's the most superior, but also like very hard to break into, is probably like the study music niche, where you have, for example, you ever heard about like Lazy Cow
Yes.
with the Korean or the Asian girl that's always there with the hoodie and she's always like writing something down while she plays music in the background?
Yeah.
That's also the same concept without showing your face. It's basically
Right.
just like finding that free royalty free copy, like copyrighted music, making a little animation and then posting that content. Now the main thing with this is basically that it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a long time, right? There's also, for example, the technology area where you find content, or for example, stock footage. By the way, Pexels, Pexel, is a great website for finding, for example, free stock footage. When it comes to
Okay.
music, you can go to Epidemic Sounds, and it's not gonna be free. It'll be like around $15 a month. But the
Hmm.
idea is that if you actually want to make this, for example, your job, right?
Right.
You have to make some investments, right? And the investments are
Yeah.
not gonna be, for example, more than like $20 a month, something like that, right? Because all you need is like some music, you need, for example, like some stock footage, and you need, for example, the storyline, right? The way
Right.
I would do that whole thing is that there's one way to do it, which is, hey, you know what? I see videos that are free for me to use. I'm gonna grab those videos and re-upload them. That's no way to make a brand, right? It's pretty
Right.
obvious. It's no way to make a brand. If you want to make a brand, you can say like, okay, I see this video right here. I can reuse it, but let me put this, for example, into a free editing software, do my voiceover, and then edit the content a little bit more to make it a little bit better. Like improving things, add in better music, add in better narration, and then you start uploading that content every single day. Now, when you do it like that, it's a little harder, right? And whenever something is harder to do, it means less competition. When something is easier to do, it means more competition. Because it's easy, for example, just like download a video, repost it. And by the way, overall, just so people know, right? The whole concept is there are videos on YouTube that people allow you to download and reuse free of charge, no problem. And the idea is you keep re-uploading those to then basically get ads and get monetized and then make more money, right? That's the whole idea.
Right.
Now, does that make sense?
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you want to do YouTube?
Honestly, the first thing that came to mind when I thought about doing it, and this honestly, I've been watching your videos for probably like a year and a half now. And I never thought about YouTube, but I think about the word autonomy a lot. You know, like real freedom, and I feel like YouTube could provide that for me. Like,
how old are you?
24.
You're 24 years old. Do you go to college?
Yeah, I went to college. I graduated.
Okay, what do you do?
What do I do now?
Yeah.
I work at the airport in my city as a TSA officer.
How much do you make?
19 an hour.
That's pretty good. And what are your expenses like?
My what?
Your expenses, what are they like? How much do you spend per month?
Like a month, probably like 2,500.
And you make how much per month?
4K.
Okay, so you're telling me, how long have you had that job for?
Honestly, this one now, just a few months.
Okay, how many months? Like 6 months?
Like 4.5.
Okay, so you're telling me in the past 4.5 months, you have, for example, saved up around, let's say $6,000?
You say how much?
6K saved up right now?
No, I got 14.7K saved.
No, but just from that one job, have you saved that much money?
Oh, yeah, from that one job. Yeah, I save about $2,000 a month from that job.
Okay, and that's accurate. That's not like a ballpark.
That's not ballpark. Yeah, that's accurate.
Okay. Now, here's what it sounds like to me, right, Trevante? It sounds like, my name is Trevante, and I'm just looking for more ways to make passive income. And YouTube seems like one of those. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the goal with YouTube is basically, just to answer this question fully, is that when it comes to YouTube, you got to pick a niche. And usually, that niche has to revolve around something you like. Now, it's not because basically, it's like, oh my gosh, I like it so much, I'm so excited. But it's because basically, if you don't like what you're doing, any normal, rational person would quit before it comes into fruition. Because for you to get, for example, 4,000 hours of your content watched, 1,000 subscribers, right? It's very hard to do. So if you don't like the content, you're going to be miserable doing it. And usually you're going to quit. So that's why it's so important that you like the content, you have a passion for it, and you're constantly learning about that content, right? So right now, right? Let's say you and me are friends and it's Saturday. We're just chilling in your house, whatever. What's the one thing you'd want to talk to me constantly about?
I can tell you right off the top of my head. I really like to travel. I really like learning about financial literacy and credit. And what's the last thing? And when I was in college, I used to listen to a lot of that like meditation type music and stuff. So I would say those three things, like indefinitely.
Okay. Now here's the thing about YouTube, right? The thing about YouTube is basically sometimes you can merge your passions, but some passions you cannot take them onto YouTube. And not every passion has to be monetized. Now what I mean is this, okay? If I like travel, does it mean I have to monetize it? No. If I like financial freedom, does it mean I have to monetize it? The answer is no. If I like meditation, does it mean I have to make money off of it? The answer is no. But if it's possible, I would like to. Now, the idea is if you're going to manage, for example, 3 channels, one on travel, one on like credit cards, all that stuff, and one on meditation, and you're going to post every single day, you'll find out that it's near impossible to make so much content. You're going to spread yourself way too thin. So my advice would be this, okay, because I had the same problem, right? I liked drama, I like gaming, I like music, I like anime, I like making challenges. I liked all this stuff and I made content around all of it. And it didn't work because basically a channel is like a channel, right? So when I go to your channel, I have to know exactly what to expect. It's like McDonald's. Like you don't go to McDonald's and be like, oh, yeah, we don't sell like McChickens here anymore, right? You're like, what's going on here, right? Oh, we don't have fries here anymore. Oh, I'm not gonna come here anymore, right? So it's the same idea. You gotta have this channel that is around one thing. So if you pick travel, make content around that. Learn as much as possible. Now, the problem with travel is basically it's expensive. And you also have, for example, a job. So you can't just travel all the time. So now your content is inconsistent. So now there's several ways to do that, right? If you want to, you make travel videos like around like, hey, where do you live right now? Like what state are you in?
Chicago.
Chicago. So if you want, you can be like, okay, let's start here with travel. Let's start making content around Chicago. Destinations to go to, restaurants to go to, best places to go, like all these things, right? Around Chicago, things that are like more free so you can make a lot of content around it. Or for example, you can also merge travel and like financial literacy, right? Because in a way you can be like, okay, here are the credit cards I use for travel, which I don't recommend that type of content because honestly, like you can make a lot of people like get into crazy debt because they don't have control. But you can educate people also on financial freedom and all that stuff, right? Meditation, if you want to make a channel about that, you can if you want to. But you got to pick a niche and you got to decide what you're going to do. And that's going to be like, I'm guessing you work from like 9 to 5?
Yeah, I mean, it's a 9 to 5 year, but I work from 6 to 3.
6 to 3, right? So 6 to 3 p.m. Now, what time do you sleep?
I go to bed at like 10, 11.
Yeah, so let's say you go to bed at 10. From 10 to 3, that's 7 hours. You have 7 hours to work on your content every day.
Right.
That's the core idea. Right. So if you pick financial literacy, like what I do basically, my strategy is basically when I go to the gym or when I'm like alone, I grab a book or I listen to an audiobook and I learn something new. And then tomorrow, I want to teach that to people, right? Because I'm learning something new and I want to pass it on to you guys. If you pick travel, find out, okay, so I'm going to go to all these locations. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to post videos about it. If you pick meditation, I'm going to practice these techniques. And by the way, one good thing to do with YouTube channels is basically you want to, once you pick a niche, find the top 5 or the top 10 people in that niche, right? Once you find those people, look through their most popular videos, right? And see exactly what content works. And you recreate that content without watching the videos and make them better. And also, for example, check the comments to see exactly, hey, what this video was missing and so on, right? So when people say, Tommy, how do you have so many ideas? The answer is I don't. Like, I see content out there. If I like it and I can recreate that same video, but make it 10 times better by filling in all the holes and all the gaps, it's called the scientific method.
Right.
So there's a lot of ideas out there. So if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. However, I do want to say one thing here. If you're telling me, Tommy, what I want is passive income and all that stuff, you can do this, right? Because if you're telling me, Tommy, I'm saving $2,000 for my TSA job at the airport a month, that's $24,000 a year.
Right.
If you are, for example, but I'm guessing they give you benefits over there too, like with a 401k and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're maxing out, for example, your Roth IRA, and then you're investing, for example, the rest into your 401k, right? Basically, all the money has been invested. If you want to do real estate, you can if you want to. But literally in a few years, like 7 to 10 years, you'll have a lot of money in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if what you want is like passive income for the future, you're already on your way. Just don't like focus on saving, but also focus, for example, on investing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Cause like it's like I think my savings is in an okay place right now, like my overall savings. But like in terms of investments this year, and I know that investments take time to like see a return and stuff like that, and I'm cool with it. Like I have a few investments in stock that generate me money too. Like I have a couple streams of income.
What are they?
So I work, and then during the week, and then sometimes I'll pick up side jobs on the weekend. I also I got money in stock that I see returns in like every month. So I'll probably see like between like 500 and like 1,300 a month from stock. And then I also use different gaming with like points bets in FanDuel Sportsbook, and I like bet on there. I mean, sometimes I lose, but a lot of times I don't. And I'll gain like a few $100s from each of those sites, and that's extra income too. And I also I have this app where I take pictures of my receipts, and it just gives me money, so I make about $20 a month.
All right. So let me ask you a question. You have any debt?
Any debt? Just student loan debt, which is like 6K.
All right. So here would be my financial advice to you, right? Like according to what I follow and what I obey here, right? The first
Mhm.
thing is you want to get out of debt, right?
Okay.
So focus well, first of all, you have 14K, right?
Yeah.
Pay off the debt you owe. Fully fund your emergency account, right? Like an emergency account. Since you only
Mhm.
spend, for example, like 2,500, you can have, for example, 3 months in there easy. You have those 3 months, okay, you're solid, and now you start investing. Now, when it comes to investing, here's my advice. By the way, do you have a car note?
Yeah, I do.
How much do you owe on that?
Oh, left on the total car,
Yeah.
7K.
Okay, so that's all your money gone right there to debt. Um,
Yeah.
how much is that car worth?
9K.
Yeah.
9.5.
And you bought it for how much?
16.
Yeah, you see.
15.
Yeah, you see that's the problem with borrowing money to buy liabilities. Now at this
Yeah.
point, you got to make a choice, right? The choice is, do I pay off this car or do I sell it for 9K or 10K?
Mhm.
Use that money to pay the difference, and then use the rest of the money to buy me, for example, a 4 to 5K decent used car. Right? That way I'm out of debt, but I'm not wasting all my money on this car. That's a choice you have to make. Now, the
Yeah.
reason I say you want to pay off your debt first is because basically right now the market is red hot, right? Everyone can make a lot of money. You put some money in, tomorrow you make a lot of money because the Fed injected a bunch of money into the whole market, all that stuff. But the idea is when the market goes down, you can't rely on that. That's why basically, if you're picking stocks, you can't pick stocks part-time. It's a full-time job. Say trying to
Right.
work TSA when you're needed to be there 24/7, right? Like while you're doing your job, but you're not there. You're only there part-time. So you're missing out on a lot of things, right? So if you wanted to invest in full-time, you can if you want to. That's not what I do because it's a lot of work and I don't want to do that. For
Right.
me, what I do is basically index fund investing and ETF investing. That's more passive. All you're doing is basically tracking the market, right?
Mhm.
And I'm guessing, right? Are you renting right now, or you own a home?
No, I'm living with my aunt right now, but I pay her rent every month.
How much do you pay her?
600.
600. Okay, so and when you have like a girlfriend or something like that?
Yeah, I do got a girlfriend.
Okay, you think about getting married?
Yeah.
Okay, so eventually, I'm guessing you're gonna have to move out and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about the goal is you want to create a plan where you think about your future, not about the
Mhm.
eminent thing right now, right? When you have assets, you have investments, you have to decide, right? What is an investment and what is a speculation? An investment is something that I can pinpoint exactly what I'm doing and I know what I'm doing, right? So basically, if you're telling me, Tommy, I picked the stock and I ask you why, and you say, well, I picked it because I like it. And I picked it because it's going up right now, and I picked it because everyone else is. That's speculation. You don't know what you're doing. If
Right.
you say, for example, well, I'm doing index fund investment because basically it tracks the market, and overall, with data, it shows me that over the next 20, 30 years, I'm going to do just great. Okay, that's invested. If you tell me, Tommy, well, I invest some money into bets, right? You know that's not investing. That's speculation also because it's
Yeah, that's
gambling,
true.
right?
That's true.
So
Yep.
now, the idea is I'm pretty firm on this, right? I recommend you do 10% because everyone has like that itchy for speculation. I understand that. 10% of your
Mhm.
money towards that speculation stuff, like placing bets or whatever, but don't put any more money into it at all.
Right. Yeah.
90% of all your money should be going towards, for example, like real investments, like investing into index funds or ETFs, or for example, individual stocks if you want to be, for example, a stock picker and so on.
Mhm.
But that's the
Yeah.
core idea.
Okay.
Now, there is one more thing, right? If you're telling me, Tommy, I plan on getting married, have this girlfriend, things are getting along great. What I would want to do is this, right? The steps go like this. I have 4 steps in my financial plan. The first step is you get out of debt. The second step is you build an emergency fund and you start investing, right? So right now, I would pause all your investments until you get out of debt. Once you build up that emergency fund fully and you start investing, for example, 10% or 15% of your money or 20% of your money, all right, great. You want to start saving up, for example, for a down payment for a home, 10 to 20%. All right. Once you buy that home on a 15-year mortgage, no more than 30% of your monthly income. Once you buy that home, The idea is you want to buy that home. You want to own that home. You don't want to finance it for 30 years. That's why you want to get a 15-year mortgage. You also want to throw, for example, an extra 15% towards that mortgage to finish it off faster. But while you're doing that also, you're still investing between 10 to 20%. Now what happens is basically you're done paying this house off in 7 to 10 years if you follow the formula. And you've also been investing for a while, so you have all this money also invested. And now a few years later, guess what? You don't have a mortgage. You have an emergency fund account already funded. You have your investments already built up. Now you just have a bunch of free money. Well, not free because you're still working for it, but a bunch of money like free for your disposal. If you want to buy a new car, you can if you want to because you can afford it cash. But that's the core idea. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The goal is to be comfortable, right? To have, for example, financial freedom. The goal is not to like build a life where you have all this stuff, but you don't know when you're going to lose it. Where you invest into investments, but you don't really know what you're doing. So it's like, okay, things are going great now, but if I lose everything tomorrow, what am I going to do? Because if you make $19 an hour and you invest, for example, $20,000 into things you don't understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Divided by 19, that's around 1,000 hours of your time gone.
I know.
Right? So you got to know exactly what you're doing. Because a lot of these YouTubers, they tell you, oh, just do this, just do that. But we make a lot of money. You know, we're making, for example, $600 to $700 to $1,000 a day. So then some people can just give advice and just waste money on whatever they want to. But I understand what you're talking about because basically I was making $8 an hour for a while. And I made some bad investments and I lost money. And when I lost money, it hurt a lot because I knew for a fact, hey, I'm going to have to work a lot to get this money back.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have any more questions, brother?
I did. I wrote them down. In terms of the niches, are you saying like, and in terms of like breaking into the things that you were saying were harder to break into, but there's less competition, is that just because do you feel like it's saturated, or it's just people aren't willing to put the time in to do those things?
I don't believe in saturation.
Yeah, I don't believe in it. I just want to hear your opinion on it.
Here's my opinion, right? I think that if someone told me, Tommy, don't make like money videos because basically it's saturated, I would be like, no, I'm gonna do whatever I want, right? The goal is, right, YouTube is great for money, but it's not great if all you want is money. Because if all you want is money, you're not gonna get it for a while, so you're gonna basically quit. That's the idea. Now, when I say something is harder, is because basically it takes physical exertion. When something takes physical exertion, like for example, going to the gym, that's hard work. Not many people do it, right? So when you say, for example, hey, I'm gonna download a video and re-upload it, that's easy to do, right? You have Creative Commons content, you copy that content, you download it, you post it up, okay, great. Anyone can do that. Meaning there's a lot more competition because anyone can do it. But when you say, for example, hey, I'm gonna grab this content, recreate it, and basically make it my own, well, now that's harder. Why? Because it takes more work. And people don't want to do work, right? But if you're gonna do that, you're gonna be a lot better off. But even then, it's not guaranteed, right? Because I did YouTube for like 11 years and it didn't turn into anything. And then when it turns into something, it turns into something, right? But it's not guaranteed. It's about, okay, I want to do YouTube because basically I have something I want to share. I have value to give to people. And step by step, you create an audience. Before you know it, you get monetized and you can start making more money and so on. But it can't just be about money because you won't make it until the money part if all you care about is money. Unless you get really, really lucky. But it's also very, very, very rare.
Okay. I do have a few more questions with this little time that I have left, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
The first one is for thumbnails, what are the best sites or tools or ones that you use yourself that you would recommend?
Okay. So I also use the scientific method when it comes to thumbnails, when it comes to videos, when it comes to everything, right? And by the way, remember, right? YouTube is like a search engine, right? So in order for your content to be found, it needs to be searched. Right. So when you make, for example, content like, oh, here's what I ate for breakfast. Here's what I did that, right? No one cares.
You're talking about optimization, right?
Yes, exactly. SEO optimization. So you got to make sure you make content around topics that are being searched. Now, on top of that, when somebody sees your video, you have click-through rate, meaning what percentage of people click this video when YouTube shows it to them. If it's between 5 to 7% to 10%, you're going to do great. But if you don't get clicks, it means that hey, your thumbnail is not good enough. Now usually high contrast, good color images, clear images get a lot of clicks. But also for different like markets, like more simple stuff gets more clicks. Okay, for example, you know who Kevin is? Meet Kevin.
Yeah.
You seen his thumbnails?
Yeah.
Simple, right? For the type of content he's making, he doesn't want to do too much. For my content, maybe a little bit more. For Graham's content, maybe a little bit more, right? But the way I would figure it is basically, hey, again, that's why you want to find those 10 people that are better than you, a lot better than you, like the top in the whole niche, and then you want to see exactly what they do and use what they do as your blueprint to what you're gonna do. But the goal is, don't just copy people's thumbnail. I used to do that too, by the way. It's not a good idea. The goal is, look at somebody's thumbnail and say, hey, what can I do here to make it better? If you always work on making something better, you're gonna be a lot better off. So find a channel that's better than yours, see what they do, recreate it while making it better. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what site do you use for thumbnails?
I don't use a site. I use a software. So as far as sites, just looking for example, YouTube thumbnail creator. You'll find some websites to do that. But as far as what I use Photoshop for a very long time. Now Photoshop is a little bit more advanced, but the idea is if you want to use Photoshop again, right? If you want to say, you know what, Tommy, I want to do YouTube. I'm going to contribute, for example, $100 a month towards this goal of mine, right? To become a YouTuber, to post content, to give people value. Then you can get, for example, Photoshop, Adobe Premiere. It's gonna be like around $50 a month, plus the Epidemic Sound, like around $50 a month, plus TubeBuddy, 12 for example, with SEO optimization, $7 a month. If you get all the software, it'll be less than $100, right? But this way you have everything you need to go out there and make content. Now, when it comes to how to use the software, YouTube tutorials.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. And yeah, I was gonna ask about editing stuff, but Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, and TubeBuddy already told me. And then also, I also.
By the way, before we move away from this question, editing is very important, but it's not that important, right?
You say what? Okay.
Editing is very important, but it's not that important. I used to spend 10 hours editing a video that was about nothing. I used to make a vlog, right? Walking around, saying nothing really, having no value, take a long time trying to make it fancy. But if you're saying nothing in your content, nobody cares, right? When your video gets really good, people don't really care about how you edit that much, right? They care that it's like delivered correctly. Yes, of course. It has like maybe some stock footage. Yes, of course. But if you have, for example, a good message, a good story, all the things people need and a good value, you'll be a lot better off. Don't waste so much time saying like, I'm gonna spend 8 hours on this video editing it. No video is perfect. Your first videos are gonna suck. I guarantee it. Compared to what you're gonna do, for example, a year later, posting daily, your videos are gonna suck. But you just have to keep making content. Don't overthink the editing.
Okay. And also I want to get into affiliates too. What do you think about ClickBank or Amazon affiliates? Which do you think are the best ones?
I'll try them all, right? It's not about the website you use. They're all basically like just like third parties, right? It's all like a middleman. What matters most is what you decide to sell, right? I think Warren Buffett has this quote, right? I have it on my desk. It says, "It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it." If you think about it if you think about it like that, you'll do things differently, right? So if you notice on my channel, rarely do you ever see me saying, hey, do this or do that. Like I only recommend what I do, which is M1 Finance, which is SoFi, Audible, that's about it, right? That's all I recommend usually. If I spend all this work building a channel and then I say, hey, go get this little scam product, I make some quick money, but I lose all respect in my channel, it wasn't worth it, right? So it matters a lot that you make sure that whatever you decide to sell are things that you actually use, enjoy. It's like if I was your brother, right? Would you want to sell me something that I wouldn't benefit from, although you would make money?
No.
Yeah, the same thing with your audience. Those people, your audience, because they're kind of like far away, you don't really know them, blah blah. It seems like they don't really matter that much, but those are basically like your family in a way. Those are your YouTube family, right? So whenever you hurt them, it's like you're being disloyal, and that's not what you want to do.
Exactly.
So I would try ClickBank. I use Amazon myself. I would try any other form. But again, just focus on the product you're selling. I'm not saying advertising is wrong. It's great. It's awesome. If I had more things to give value with, I would advertise it and also make money from it. But for right now, that's all I got. I'm not going to start making things up just to make some extra money, because then it's a problem. Because if it has a problem with that whole like software or whatever, and I don't believe in it, then I'm just losing reputation. And that's not what I want to do.
Yeah, especially with a following, because they look to you for
advice. Not even the following, because it's when I first started YouTube, I wanted sponsors so bad, right? Because initially you want that too, but they started reaching out to me eventually, and I started, for example, ignoring a lot of them, because most of them are just looking for whatever they want, which is basically to make money off the audience. If it doesn't benefit your audience in the beginning, you'll look for them. When you start to grow more, they'll look for you. But then you have to sort through who's good, who's bad, and who's just terrible. Right?
Yeah. Okay. It do look like we ran out of time.
Yeah. Well, you already know, man. If you want, go ahead. You have one more question?
Yeah. I was gonna say, I can't schedule a call with you every week, though, right?
You can schedule a call as often as you want, as long as you have something to talk about, like finance related and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm gonna definitely be trying to talk to you like a couple times a week for sure.
All right, brother. No problem. All right, thank you for the call, brother. Any more questions? You already know, schedule a call, and I'll see you next time, okay? Have fun.
All right, man, I appreciate you. I was there when you had 50K subscribers, man. Just like
man. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it a lot, man.
All right, enjoy.
All right, peace. All right, guys, that right there was Trevante, and that's one thing that I try to like always pay attention to, I don't make content around things I don't believe in. I don't advertise things I don't believe in. Although it may make a lot of money, if it don't make sense, I just don't do it, okay? That's the idea. Although I can make a lot more money than I do right now, would it be worth it? Not even if I get caught, right? If I don't get caught, whatever, right? But the idea is, even if I don't get caught, what would that do to my morality, right? Knowing that I'm hurting you guys in a sense, but I'm gaining everything. That's never what I want to do, okay? But overall, YouTube is awesome. To make a lot of money is great. But if all you want is money, most likely it's not going to work for you. Notice basically, everyone that's really successful on YouTube, you have PewDiePie, you have maybe Graham Stephan also, you have me also, right? You have a lot of us guys, right? But initially, it was never really about the money. Like when the money came, oh wow, awesome, right? This is money for this, okay, great, right? But it was never really just about the money. If all you want is money, you won't make it to the point where you actually start to make money, because it takes so long. And an irrational, smart person would just quit. All right, because it makes no sense, okay, guys? And as always, guys, I'll see you guys next time. But if you guys want to talk to me one-on-one on this channel, well, schedule a call, link down below. All calls are free. And on top of that, follow my other channels, also links down below. Subscribe to this channel and also like this video. That's the only way I know you like these videos, guys. And on top of that, as always, follow me on Instagram, Bryson. And before I go, thanks a lot, guys. And as always, peace.